Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and also to your Night Czar Amy Lamé for picking up the Economy Committee's recommendation in our Rewrite the Night report last year when I was chair, to research the proportion of workers in the London nighttime economy who receive the London living wage. As you said, your report highlights some really shocking statistics. The fact that 1.6 million people in London are working at night and over 530,000 of them are paid less than the London living wage. That's almost a third of nighttime workers getting less than the London living wage. And it's almost double the number of people who are paid less than the London living wage during the daytime. It's just completely unacceptable. Now, the London living wage got going because big companies got behind the campaign. Are you going to work with companies who employ people at night to get their commitment to pay the London living wage?
Absolutely. First, thank you for what you said and the way you've said it. Yes, we are. Can I just give you some other piece of potential good news in this area is the Good Work Standard will encourage more employers to pay the living wage, because to be a Good Work Standard accredited employer, you'll be paying the London living wage. But also the evidence shows it's good for your business, improves staff morale, helps with recruitment and also retention.
Excellent, thank you. Your study showed that 4 out of 5 visitors to London say that culture and heritage is the main reason for their trip. And more than half of the people working in cultural and leisure industries at night are paid less than the London living wage. These workers make London an interesting and attractive place to visit, but they're not being paid properly. It's not okay to make people work for less because of the love of what they're doing in the arts. So will we see a more robust policy in your final culture strategy on making the London living wage the standard in the cultural and creative sector?
Well, Chair, there's at least 12 points in that question that deserve a response. Let me deal with each of them with the time.
The question is about people in the arts. Will you update your culture strategy in the final version to be more robust about the cultural sector committing to the London living wage?
In which way do you mean?
There was a hint in the culture strategy that that some in the arts people are not being paid properly. Your research has just borne that out.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering if this research that you've just done is going to mean that you update your culture strategy with a more robust recommendation on culture, the cultural industries paying the London living wage.
Well, I've already said I want everyone receiving their London living wage who works in London. If you do a hard day's work or a hard night's work, you get a decent pay for doing that. And that means that the Good Work Standard that I'll be launching early next year will encourage employees who employ in the nighttime or daytime to be a living wage employer. So, of course.
Okay, and finally, on the Good Work Standard, which I thought was being published at the end of this year, but it'll be good to see it at the beginning of next year, will you have a target for the number of London businesses that you want to sign up to the Good Work Standard in the first year?
So I should explain. So the inverted commas soft launch is this year. So that's when we get some employers on side. The idea is to have a bigger launch next year, once we've got some employers on side doing the Good Work Standard, to encourage others that actually it's good for business to join the Good Work Standard. So,
okay.
So that's the confusion here. So
okay, that sounds great, but will you have a target for the number when it's been in place for a year?
Once we launch it properly next year, we will. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll have a target in relation to how many we expect to have, metrics, how we go going forward. We did a similar thing with the living wage. I mean, since I've become mayor, the numbers of living wage employers has gone up hugely at the same time as the living wage has gone up. So it shows there's a good business case for paying a decent pay for a decent day's work.
That's great. So there will be a target in the Good Work Standard when it comes out.
I don't see why we should. I think it's important to have aspiration, but have metrics. I think we should measure success.
That's great. I'm out of time.
All right.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.